Congress has passed a short-term spending bill to avert a partial government shutdown just a day before the deadline. The deal is now headed to President Biden's desk to be signed. ABC's Jay O'Brien is on Capitol Hill with more on that. Jay, Congress is buying a few extra weeks to try to work out a more long-term agreement. So what happens next?
Well, it's deja vu, Diane. How many times have you and I been here together and said, Congress has passed a short-term funding bill right before the deadline and they've kicked the can down the road? This is the third short-term funding bill Congress has passed within this broader funding fight. It's the second one Mike Johnson has been Speaker of the House while it's passed. What it means is it kicks federal funding and extends it into two different deadlines in March. It gives Speaker Johnson and Chuck Schumer, the top Democrat in the Senate who controls that chamber, time to implement that broader funding plan that they agreed to a few weeks back, essentially get that through the various chambers of Congress. For Mike Johnson, it is a complicated factor because he's got hardliners in his own party who do not like, firstly, this temporary funding deal that's now in place, and secondly, that broader funding deal that he struck with Chuck Schumer, and they're pledging to put some gremlins in the works as Mike Johnson tries to get that broader plan through the House of Representatives before those deadlines in March.
Now, President Biden's son, Hunter, has agreed to sit down for a closed-door deposition with lawmakers after weeks of back and forth about whether he should be held in contempt of Congress. So how do you expect that to play out?
Well, it's been this roller coaster ride, right? Initially, House Republicans said they wanted Hunter Biden to testify behind closed doors in a deposition, which the rest of their witnesses have done as part of this impeachment inquiry. Hunter Biden says no, he's only going to testify in public. House Republicans then say, okay, we're going to hold you in contempt of Congress. Hunter Biden says fine, and he crashes that hearing, remember, about holding him in contempt of Congress. And then Hunter Biden's lawyers say to House Republicans, well, because they voted now to formalize this impeachment inquiry into President Biden, that means that Hunter Biden, if Republicans issued a new subpoena, would potentially comply with that subpoena. So now they have set that date to depose him behind closed doors in late February. Don't expect there to be any kind of video other than Hunter Biden walking in and out. But we have heard that there is a potential to get a little bit more of a fulsome readout of what's said behind those closed doors because the Hunter Biden team is so concerned that his testimony could be cherry-picked or manipulated by lawmakers who leave that room and go out and talk to reporters.
Now, the House Armed Services Committee is asking Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin to testify publicly next month for not disclosing his hospitalization. What do lawmakers want to hear from him?
Well, we've heard this repeatedly, particularly from House Republicans, but even some Democrats in the early moments after that Austin hospitalization news broke, that they were concerned, as you noted, by what they said was a lack of transparency by the Department of Defense. Not just a lack of transparency to the American people, but a lack of transparency to the White House. Remember, there was a delay to which President Biden learned of, firstly, Secretary Austin's hospitalization, and secondly, his cancer diagnosis. And so that is the overall question that Lloyd Austin is likely to face if he does comply with this request from the House to testify in that House Armed Services hearing.
All right, ABC's Jay O'Brien. Jay, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.